Here's what I know after building 2 companies and exiting one at over $1 billion. Avoidance is expensive, not in the way you think. It's not about the missed opportunity or the delayed revenue, though those matter. It's about energy. Avoidance consumes you, especially as a founder and CEO. It takes up mental real estate that you don't have. It makes you feel smaller. It keeps you stuck in reaction mode instead of operating from intention. And every founder that I've ever coached, every single woman scaling her business has told me the same thing. The moment that I stopped avoiding and started facing was the moment everything shifted. Here's what most founders get wrong about avoidance. Not motivational, not hustle, but the actual cost of avoidance and how we can actually move through it. Because your freedom isn't waiting on the other side of perfect execution. It's waiting on the other side of the decision. How many times this week have you ignored the thing that you really need to do? The email that you didn't send, the conversation you've been putting off, the decision that's sitting on your desk for over 3 weeks or even in your inbox, the boundary that you need to set, the person you need to fire or the client you need to let go of. We all do it. And we avoid things for a reason. Fear, mostly. Uncertainty. The belief that if we don't acknowledge it, it won't be real maybe. But after building 2 companies and exiting one at over $1 billion, avoidance is expensive, not in the way you think. It's not about the missed opportunity or the delayed revenue, though those matter. It's about energy. Avoidance consumes you, especially as a founder and CEO. It takes up mental real estate that you don't have. It makes you feel smaller. It keeps you stuck in reaction mode instead of operating from intention. And every founder that I've ever coached, every single woman scaling her business has told me the same thing. The moment that I stopped avoiding and started facing was the moment everything shifted. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Not motivation on this episode, not hustle, but the actual cost of avoidance and how we can actually move through it. Because your freedom isn't waiting on the other side of perfect execution. It's waiting on the other side of the decision. So lesson number 1, here's what most founders get wrong about avoidance. They think that the cost is the deal that they didn't close, the revenue they didn't make, the opportunity that they missed. And yes, those things matter, but that's not actually where avoidance costs you the most. The real cost is energy. When you're avoiding something, you're not just ignoring it, you're actively managing it. You're thinking about it when you're in the shower. You're remembering it at 2 a.m. You're feeling the weight of it in every single meeting without even knowing it. You're splitting your attention between the thing you're doing and the thing that you're not doing. That's what avoidance actually is. It's a constant cognitive load that actually drains you. I learned this the hard way when I was building Stacks. I had a conversation I needed to have with someone on my team. It was so hard for me to do it. It required me to set a boundary, to say no, to potentially disappoint someone. I know you've all been there. So guess what? I didn't do it. For weeks, I didn't do it. And in those weeks, I wasn't just avoiding one conversation. I was managing that avoidance, honestly, every single day without knowing it. It leaked into how I showed up for other meetings. It made me feel less present with my family. It was constantly on my mind. It made me question my decisions in areas that had nothing to do with that conversation. Because avoidance is a tax on your whole system. You're burning energy on something that isn't moving you forward. And here's the thing, that energy is finite. You have a certain amount of it each day. And when you're spending it on avoidance, you're not spending it on building, on leading, on the things that actually move your business forward. So the cost of avoidance isn't the one big thing you miss. It's the 1,000 small ways it makes you feel smaller. It's the projects that you don't start because you're managing the weight of what you're avoiding. It's the bold moves you don't make because you're already depleted. It's the team you don't build because you're stuck in reaction. That's the real tax. And the moment that you understand that, avoidance stops looking like protection and starts looking like what it actually is. It's a choice. And that choice costs you everything. So here's how we're going to solve it. Lesson number 2 is we're going to name the fear underneath it. So if avoidance is costing you that much energy, why do we keep doing it? And trust me, I still do this every single day. So I have to remind myself of this because there is a fear underneath, right? Always. And most of us never actually just name that fear. We just feel the weight of it and we don't let it pass. We feel the pull to avoid and we follow it. And we never actually ask ourselves, what am I afraid of? And I'm not talking the surface fear. I'm talking the real one. I'm afraid to send that email. Okay, but why? Underneath that, what are you actually afraid of? Is it rejection? Is it failure? Is it being wrong? Is it looking stupid? Is it disappointing someone? Right? And sometimes we mask that fear and we say, oh, I'm just waiting for it to be perfect. And we call this whole thing as, oh, we're just women are perfectionists. But it's actually the avoidance. It's the fear behind it. And that's what I have found what we need to fix. Because here's what I know. The fear you can't name is the fear that is actually owning you. That fear, once you name it, loses its power because you understand it. I worked with a founder once who kept avoiding investor conversations. She had a product, she had traction, but she couldn't bring herself to the pitch. We could have been like, oh, it's not perfect enough, or she doesn't feel ready. But when we sat down, she told me it wasn't really about the pitch itself. And when we got to the root of the fear, it was that she was afraid if she asked for money, people would say no. And if they said no, it meant that her idea wasn't good enough, which meant that she wasn't good enough. So the real fear underneath was not the pitch, the story she'd built around what that rejection actually meant about her worth. The moment that she understood that and she named it, everything changed. Because then we could separate the pitch from the person. We could say a no on this round or on this pitch doesn't mean anything about your idea. It just means timing maybe, or the fit, or they don't understand it. It just means timing maybe, or the fit, or the investor might not understand the market yet. And suddenly the pitch wasn't terrifying anymore. It was just a conversation. That's what naming your fear does. It takes the power out of avoidance because avoidance only works when the fear stays unnamed. The moment you say it out loud, the moment you write it down, you move from being controlled by it to being able to work with it and understand it. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one thing that you're avoiding right now. And it's okay. It doesn't have to be the big dramatic thing. Just one small one. Maybe the conversation, maybe the decision, the email that's not going out. And ask yourself, what am I actually afraid of? Don't answer with the surface level thing. I want you to go deeper. What's the story you're telling yourself about what happens if you actually press send or have the conversation or do the thing? What do you believe it will mean about you or your business or your abilities? Name that. Write it down. Because the fear that you just named, once you do that, stops owning you. Lesson number 3, decisions move everything. Here's what nobody tells you about decisions. The hard part isn't the execution. It's the deciding. Once you decide, everything else moves. Your team knows, your energy changes, your business accelerates. And most founders think that the hard part is doing the thing perfectly, making the right call, having the right information before you move. So we continue to what? Delay the decision. This happens every day. We gather more data, we ask more people, and then we want more certainty that will never actually come. And while we're waiting, guess what? Nothing is moving. But the founders who scale the fastest aren't the ones who make perfect decisions. They're the ones who, guess what? They decide. They pick a direction, they communicate it clearly, and then they move, even with some unknowns. I actually see this all the time with my own team. There's a project that they're stalled on. Energy is scattered, people are waiting, and the moment I make a decision about it, even if it's not the decision that they wanted, they're like, fine, the energy shifts. People know what they're working toward. They can stop managing the ambiguity and they can start executing. And I tell them as well, the thing that I don't want from them is a lack of decisions. I would rather you move and keep the project forward, even if you feel like it might not be the right decision. That's what a decision actually does. It creates clarity, it creates momentum, it creates permission. And here's the thing that I want you to know, and where we all get caught up. Most decisions are not permanent. You're not locked in forever. You can change your mind. You can pivot. You can adjust as you go. But right now, when you're avoiding the decision, you're locked in avoidance. You're locked in stagnation. You're locked in the energy drain. And I know right now, as I'm talking about this, you're like, well, it's not just about the decision. I'm talking about every single day, all of these small CEO moves that get stuck are because, or we're not actually pressing the button to execute or making that move, it is decisioning. So all of it is decisioning. That's the number one thing that I can do as a CEO is make decisions all day long. And the decision itself is the move, not the perfect execution of the decision. Once you decide to have a conversation, the conversation gets easier. Once you decide to let someone go, the process will then become clear. Once you decide what your pricing is, your sales conversations will hit differently. Once you decide that you're actually building a company that doesn't depend on you, your hiring and delegation changes. The decision moves everything. And the cost of not deciding is higher than the cost of actually deciding wrong and adjusting. And we're masking that as perfectionism. Lesson number 4 is 5 things founders avoid, and I'm going to tell you why. Let me get specific here because avoidance isn't abstract. It shows up in concrete ways in your business. And I've worked with enough founders now to know the patterns. Here are 5 things that I see founders avoid most and why they do it. And as you're listening and you see, oh my God, Suneera, this is something that I do, that's okay. I'm going to show you how to quickly adjust and start making decisions. The first thing that I see is 1, the conversation with your team about what's actually not working. You have a team member who isn't delivering or the communication breakdown is real. And instead what we do is place blame. We say, this is someone else's fault. Someone needs to be in a different role, but we're not actually saying what needs to change and how we need to manage around it. And what we end up doing is either we take on the extra work, other team members take on the extra work, and we start to resent team members quietly, and they start to resent us as well. Your whole team feels this, and they all know something is off, and they just don't know what. Here's what I want you to shift. The moment that you have the conversation, even if it's hard, the whole dynamic will shift. What is actually hard? What is not working? How we can both work together in execution to get your team in a better place, or if they're not, then it might be time to part ways. Your team will start to trust you more, even the ones that are still left on the team, because you're willing to name what's real. Number 2 is the pricing conversation. You know your pricing is too low. I feel that all the time as well. Your margins are getting tighter and tighter every day, but raising prices feels scary. It's not even about feeling greedy. It feels, what if they say no? What if our clients leave? What if nobody buys? So here's what ends up happening. You stay stuck and you stay small. You also stay broke. You stay trading time for money. Even as prices are increasing everywhere else for your business, you're not increasing your own prices. But the moment that you decide, everything changes, that my pricing is going to go up. Your business will become more profitable. Your clients will take you more seriously. You will have time and energy for the work that actually matters. And yes, you might lose a few clients, but you're also going to attract the right ones. This is a really scary shift for most of us women in business, but I've seen this happen if done right and done well. This is the shift that takes you to that next level. Number 3 is letting go of something that's no longer serving you. Whether it's a client, a partnership, a teammate, a way of working. You've built something that worked once, but it's not working anymore. And instead of letting it go, you're still managing it. You keep trying to make it work. You keep hoping it'll come back, but it won't. And while you're holding on to it, you're not building what's next. The moment that you let it go, you have energy and space for what actually serves you now. Number 4 is asking for help. This is huge. Most founders think that asking for help is a weakness, or we just don't know how to do it. That we need to be able to figure it out on your own. That needing support means you're not cut out for this. But here's the thing. Asking for help is how you scale. It's how you get unstuck. It's how you build a real business instead of a job where you're the only employee. The moment that you ask for help, everything changes. Your energy shifts. Your perspective shifts. Your business shifts because people are willing to support. Number 5 is your own development. You are so focused on the business that you're actually not investing in yourself. You're not reading. You think you are. You're not learning. You're not getting coached. You're not going to therapy. You're not doing the inner work that moves you forward. You're not getting into the program that actually will take you there. And then you wonder why your business is stuck, why you keep repeating the same patterns, why your business plateaus. The moment that you invest in yourself, your business transforms because your business is only as evolved as you are. So those are the 5 big ones, and they all have the same root. 1 is avoidance of discomfort. 2, it's the avoidance of uncertainty. And 3, it's the avoidance of the unknown. So lesson number 5 now. It's your move. We need to shift from hesitation to CEO. So here's what I want you to do. Not eventually, this week, today, I want you to pick one of those 5s. The one that lands. So here's what I want you to do. Not eventually, this week. I want you to pick one of those 5. The one that landed the hardest. The one that made you feel a little uncomfortable just thinking about it. You're like, yeah, Suneera, that's the one. And then do this. First, I want you to name it. Say it out loud. I'm avoiding the conversation with this person because X. I'm avoiding raising my prices because Y. Whatever it is, name it. And name the fear underneath. What are you actually afraid of? Write that down. Is it disappointment? Is it rejection? Is it the unknown? The fear you name, you can actually work with. Third, this is the best part, make the decision. Not the execution, just the decision. I'm going to have this conversation. I'm going to raise my prices. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to invest in myself. Whatever it is, decide. Fourth, I want you to set a deadline. So not someday, I want you to make the decision and I want you to give yourself a specific time frame. And fifth, we're going to move. Not perfectly, not with all the answers. We're just going to move. Send the email, make the call, have the conversation, raise the price, let it go, ask for the help, sign up for the program, whatever it is, decide, move, and let's go. Because here's what I know. The woman on the other side of that decision is different. She's freer. She has more energy. She's operating from intention instead of just vague reaction. She's leading instead of managing. She is the CEO. And part of becoming a CEO is getting into the habit of making decisions all day long. And that woman is you. You're not waiting for permission. You're not waiting for certainty. You're not waiting for the perfect moment. You are deciding. You are moving and you're building. So this week, pick that thing, name it, name the fear, decide, set a deadline, and move. Your business, your energy, and your life will thank you. Avoidance is expensive, but the cost of facing what you're avoiding is always lower than the cost of staying stuck. You already know what you need to do. You already know what you're avoiding. The only question is, when are you going to decide? When are you going to move? When are you going to become the woman who faces the thing instead of avoids them? And I think the answer is now, even today. So go. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I want you to pick up that one thing and move. That's what this week is about. That's what being a CEO is about. Not having all the answers, just being willing to face what's real and move forward anyway. I'll see you next week on another episode of the CEO School Podcast.